You keep telling yourself that they didn't mean it that way. But if you're honest, this isn't the first time. And every time it happens, you're left questioning yourself more than you question them. Sometimes you wonder if you're overreacting. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. But it happens again and again and again. That's it. They're probably a narcissist. In this episode, we'll talk about how to spot the difference between an honest communication and a deliberate attempt to manipulate you. I'll share 3 specific manipulation tactics that I've seen in friendships and family and in work settings. And also, I'm going to share how you can protect your boundaries without getting stuck in endless debates. Honestly, this really isn't about whether or not they're a narcissist. It's about how you respond to behaviors that they show you. By the end, you'll know when to give someone the benefit of the doubt and when to stop giving them your energy. Are you ready? Let's go. What's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast, the podcast for late identified autistic adults who want real relationships without fake masks. Let's talk connection, clarity, and showing up as your authentic self. Now, I like to talk about, I often get people asking me about narcissism and narcissists. Why do we always attract narcissists? Autistic people are so prone to it. And certainly it's because we're curious and we take a lot of things literally, and we may even be a bit gullible, if that is a word that you would like to accept, but susceptible to believing other people. That's a better way to say it. We believe in other people and their words. We take their words at face value, and we kind of believe that you don't really have a reason to lie to me because I don't have a reason to lie to you, and I think you're like me. And then we find out that that's just not right. And that sucks. It hurts. Been there many times, but that doesn't mean that the people that we're interacting with are absolute total narcissists. There are things that may happen in between, like people misunderstand, or we have a misunderstanding. They don't tell us something, or they say something in a way that we don't understand, and boop, up, we get hurt, or we don't benefit from it because of the interaction that we had with them. So we had a misunderstanding, There's manipulation where people actually do these things intentionally. They do them so that they can benefit our downfall or benefit off of us. So they manipulate our actions and our behaviors. And we want to watch out for that too, because if we take things at face value, then we're likely to fall into more manipulation. It's just a thing that happens when you believe people. And wouldn't the world be a lot better and easier to get along if you just said what you meant and meant what you said? But it doesn't work that way. We have feelings and things like that happen. And there are other people who want something at our expense. And they will do that because they're not thinking the same way we're thinking. And then there's, of course, the narcissist behavior. This is where we're quick to point out people who take as narcissists, complete narcissists. And I'm not saying that is not true. I mean, they could be a diagnosed narcissist, but what I want to look at is how it benefits you to know that behavior, or more specifically, how does it benefit you to label that person as a narcissist, especially if your behavior doesn't change and all you do is say that person's a narcissist and you hang out with them. You see what I'm saying? Of course you don't see what I'm saying, but you can hear it, right? So that's the point of this, is to break that down and to look for a few things. So what I do is I'm always looking for people's behavior and how I feel about their behavior. That's just the way I move about the world. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think. I don't care what kind of diagnosis that you have. It doesn't matter to me. It matters how you treat me, and it matters how I feel about how you treat me. So you can explain away all you want, but I have 3 things that I definitely look out for to make sure that you're not trying to intentionally harm me. And I'm going to share those with you today. So the first thing that I talk about, or that I look for, is withholding key information. Misunderstandings happen often because we're missing out on information, specific information that we need to complete a task or to reach a goal or to understand something. It's a misunderstanding. So an example of this is they forgot to tell you something important because they genuinely didn't realize you needed to know. So they didn't share with you that the meeting was rescheduled. Your coworker didn't share with you that the meeting was rescheduled because they assumed you saw the calendar invite, and then you get upset with them. It's like, hey, you didn't tell me the meeting was rescheduled. Well, they thought you saw the calendar invite. They thought that you were going to see it, and they didn't need to say anything to you. And so it was a misunderstanding. You both had different expectations. They didn't do it on purpose to make you look stupid, to harm you. It just happened. So I look out for that. Like, oh, okay, that's a misunderstanding. Manipulation, on the other hand, is a coworker conveniently, quote, forgets to tell you about a meeting so you look unprepared in front of your boss. Now, one of the biggest differentiators between manipulation and misunderstanding is that they will give you some false information. They will say, the meeting isn't tomorrow, or isn't today, it's tomorrow. And so you don't prepare for the meeting. They're going to give you some false information. And that is part of the withholding key information. It's all around the information that you get from them. So they withheld the information. In fact, they like to give you information that is false. So they knew the meeting was today, but they came over to tell you that it's tomorrow. What is that? What are you doing? Well, you're trying to manipulate. I don't know what your benefit is, you trying to manipulate me or making me look bad. I don't know what it is for you, but I know when I look at this, I look at my interactions with people and how I'm treated and what happens as a result of my experience with them. If I don't feel great, if I feel hurt, if I feel sad, then I need to look at them and say, okay, what are you trying to do? I don't like this. You don't really have to dive into what their reasons are. You just have to know how it feels for you. You really do. And with that understanding, it'll help you make a better decision on what kind of information you're going to receive from them, if you're even going to care or listen to them, right? So if they withhold information, make sure they're not a source for you. You go talk to somebody else. You get the right information from somebody else. You'll see manipulation happen a lot if they keep coming to you and keep trying to tell you these things. Keep trying to tell you something that doesn't work or something that isn't real. And that's manipulation. A step further, we want to look at this narcissist. If they regularly keep you out of the loop and then blame you for never being reliable, it's not just one meeting. It's a pattern of controlling and trying to keep access to information that keeps themselves looking superior. So what I know about narcissists is that they have a superiority complex and they have to make you look bad, but they also have to make themselves look better. So the person who's doing the manipulation, they may not be the person who is also saying, aha, I'm drawing attention to the fact that you were late for the meeting or you looked unprepared. And they may not open their mouth to say, hey, you look terrible here. Like you're not reliable. You can't do anything right. They insert themselves. I am the right choice. I am the one who does better. So looking out for that narcissistic behavior. But again, I'm sharing that with you because a lot of us think about narcissism and how we attract those people, but it's not really beneficial to you to label that person as a narcissist as much as it is to pay attention to how their behavior impacts you, the interactions with you. That's going to inform anything more than a label of them being a narcissist would. So when you're looking at these relationships, if it's just a misunderstanding, it's a manipulation, or if it's narcissistic behavior, you suspect that, you want to ask yourself, in any situation where somebody withheld key information from you, or you felt like you didn't get the right information, do they regularly keep you out of the loop? Does the missing information change how you respond or you prepare? Do they benefit from you not knowing? If you suspect that, then the next thing to do is, of course, if they're your friend, if they're close to you, have a conversation. If they're not close to you, then do some more observation. That's how I handle it. The next one is twisting your words. Misunderstandings happen all the time because our words get twisted up. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand your point of view. And we're coming in from a different place about a topic or experience that we both had, and we have different points of views. So they misunderstood and you misunderstood. You interpret what you said differently because of unclear language or maybe even cultural differences. Let's say the coworker forgets to tell you that the meeting is moved. What they do, if it was just a misunderstanding, is apologize and then fill you in, because they get no benefit from seeing you left out. They didn't mean to harm you, and they want to support you. Misunderstanding. Manipulation. They deliberately reframe your words to make it seem like you're unreasonable or to shift blame. If you're being manipulated, they take your words and they turn them against you. They're trying to, quote, win. In this case of a meeting, a peer leaves you out on purpose so you look unprepared. Their goal was to get you to be unprepared. Yikes. Doesn't look good. Doesn't feel good to me. We're on the same team. We're supposed to be anyway. If we're working for a company, both of our jobs are to make money and to support the company, so we both have a job, or we both have a place here. The company keeps their lights on, we keep our job. So we're supposed to be aligned in that way when you're working at workplaces. But okay. So you want to leave me out on purpose to make me look dumb. Okay, I got you. You told me something. You twisted my words. I see this. This is manipulation. We'll take it another step further and we'll look at the narcissist behavior. Narcissist behavior is regularly keeping you out of the loop and then blaming you for not being reliable. Again with the blame. So that they can push themselves up and say, hey, I am much better. Nobody can be better than me. Everybody needs to recognize me. Look at those people. These people who do this manipulation and narcissistic behavior, they are intimidated and they need to boost their self-worth, especially narcissist behavior. But again, I digress. It only matters how their behavior impacts you, and labeling it, if you're not going to respond to the behavior, isn't going to do much for you. It's good to know, but you have to do something else. So in this case, when you constantly find yourself in situations where people are twisting your words, whether it's manipulation or narcissistic behavior, you want to notice if they correct themselves after clarification. Because honest misunderstandings are open to correction. But manipulation and narcissistic behavior will double down. Manipulation will make sure that you are wrong. They just want to make sure that you're wrong about the experience. And narcissistic behavior is the same. They want to make sure that you feel like your feelings aren't valid and their point of view is the right way, and you can't leave this conversation unless your point of view is the correct way. Unless their point of view is the correct way, unless they believe it. So it's difficult to handle them. But again, what are you going to do in these situations? I hope that you would create space. That's what I like, to create space from people like that. But I also teach how to handle these kinds of behaviors. And it's not just about creating space, because sometimes you just can't get away from those people at work. Sometimes you have to interact with them and have conversations with them, but you don't want to slip into this place where you're feeling like you were being manipulated or your energy is being stolen because somebody feels they're inferior and they have to steal your energy. For years, I tried to earn connection by performing, masking, and contorting myself into something more, quote, acceptable. It only left me feeling more isolated, especially at work. If you've ever felt the same, join me, Coach Lee Hopkins, at the Social Connection Summit. It's a free 2-day virtual event for autistic and ADHD professionals, as well as their allies who want to understand them better. This is the inclusive space that I wish I had. A space where you don't have to perform to feel accepted, where you already belong. You'll hear from late identified autistic and ADHD professionals who've lived it, and from leaders and allies who are ready to learn with care, not guilt. Expect short talks, real strategies, and honest stories to help you navigate professional spaces without burnout or hiding who you are. There will be giveaways, bonus gifts for those who invite friends, and full access to replays, so you don't need to attend live to benefit. And when you sign up, you'll get 20% off all Adulting with Autism merchandise, shirts, mugs, stickers, and more. But you better hurry because this special offer is only available for the first 30 people. Grab your free ticket at socialconnectionsummit.com and we'll see you there. The last one is guilt-loaded requests. This is where people try to make you feel guilty to do what they want you to do. And this can come up as a misunderstanding because maybe your friend, your coworker, somebody close to you thinks that you're available on Saturdays. Because somewhere along the line you said, Saturdays are free. I usually just chill. I don't really have anything to do. And so they approach you and they say, hey, I need you to help me move. Can you help me move? And they're like, hey, yeah, you're not doing anything on Saturdays, are you? And you're like, oh, no, I don't want to. In your internal dialogue, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. And then you finally say it out loud. Hey, I've got something to do on Saturday. I can't help you move. I'm sorry. The understanding from them is that you are always available. And this misunderstanding is that you're not this weekend. You're not available. And if it's a simple misunderstanding, they might try to convince you. They might say, hey, come on, we can have some pizzas and beers after. It's a lot of fun. You'll have a good time. You get to hang out with me. They give you all these reasons, but eventually they will accept the boundary. They will accept your boundary and they'll move on. They'll figure it out themselves, right? If you're being manipulated, on the other hand, this person will try and say something that makes you feel bad. You're going to leave me all alone to move? You're going to leave me to do all this stuff myself? Look at all the things that I've ever done for you. Can't you just give up one Saturday? You're so lazy. This is ridiculous. I care about you, and I've shown it over the years, and the least you can do is help me move. There you go. That's manipulation. Because they're trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, but they want to make you feel bad if you say no. And that's the key piece. They're trying to get you to feel bad. They don't respect your space, and they want what they want regardless of how you feel. A narcissist will raise the stakes. After everything I've done for you, you can't even do this one thing. You're so ungrateful. And they weaponize the guilt by linking to your worth and loyalty to endless self-sacrifice. Because again, everything is about them, their needs, and their wants. And narcissists genuinely feel attacked because you are not supporting them. You're not doing exactly what they want you to do the way they want you to do it. So they genuinely feel attacked. And because of that, they're going to double down. They're going to get down. I think the people who are just trying to manipulate, they may give up after a certain point of you saying no, no, no. Because it's never really yay, yay, yay. But these narcissists, they're still going to hold it against you. They're still going to hold it against you. So the biggest thing to know about this, about dealing with these kinds of behaviors, is that healthy requests will leave you space for no. You can say no without fear of punishment. Manipulation, if it's more than a misunderstanding, they will attach your worth to compliance. So if you do this for me, then we're good. Narcissists will do a lot more of that, but even more intensely. They will never give up. It's always about them. It's always about them. So what can you do with this information? Well, misunderstandings happen. They're a natural part of human interaction. They just are. People are not going to understand you, and you're not going to understand everybody 100% of the time. It differs across communication styles, being autistic, being autistic, or where you're from, the sayings that you grew up with, the hobbies and interests you might have. It varies. It varies, and people are just not going to understand. I remember I had a teacher in high school where I talked about this game called Tetris, and I was really excited about telling her about how I enjoyed Tetris. And I was trying to explain the game is because she had no idea what it was. And I was like, yeah, these blocks come from the sky and you have to change the shapes and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, what are you, I don't even, and I was like, yeah, you know. And she was like, no, I know Tetris as a fish. I don't know Tetris as a fucking fish. I don't know that personally. But the point is that a misunderstanding happened, right? And you don't know where the people are coming from. So the best way to be able to handle misunderstandings is notice how they received your information, notice how you received their information, and if they are willing to be able to come to a place together, both of you willing, come to a place together to talk about what was understood by both sides so that you can understand each other. You can clearly do that so it doesn't happen again. Misunderstandings are supposed to happen occasionally, every once in a while, but if they're happening all of the time, if somebody's constantly misunderstanding you, then there's just a communication issue, right? Got to sit down and figure out what that is. If somebody is constantly giving you bad information, or if they're twisting your words, or if they're guilt loading you with requests, you might be manipulated. They want you to behave in a certain way. They want you to show up in a certain way, and they're doing what they can to influence that. So just pay attention to that. And the last, of course, is narcissistic behavior. Just take a deep breath for me, because narcissism. I talk to narcissists because I need to work with them. I need to work with all people. I need to understand all people. But I'm very careful about giving them too much of me, too much information. I take their words with a grain of salt. I don't care for their feelings. Like, if they are really sad and upset, that's not my problem, because the moment you make it your problem, it will always be your problem, and they gotcha. You want to pay attention to how you feel. So trust your noticing, trust what you've noticed, trust what you feel, pay attention to those things. If you're unsure, test it, offer clarification to see how they respond. Now, this is actually what I meant. I didn't mean that. Can you see that point of view? And then you don't have to prove manipulation to anyone. You don't have to prove that they're trying to manipulate you. You just need to know what you know, right? And then you move accordingly. Hey, I hope this helps. Best of luck to you. Are you struggling to reach out without feeling awkward? Then I have a very, very special gift for you. It's called the 333 method, an easy way to reconnect without awkwardness. If you ever feel unsure about what to say, when to say it, or if it's too late to reach out, this will help. It's simple, it's clear, and it's made for people who overthink connection. There's no email required. Just grab it for free at patternsofpossibility.com. Click on resources and get your copy. If this episode resonated with you, the best way to support the podcast is to rate and review it. Your words will help other late diagnosed autistic adults find this space to know that they're not alone. Just a few seconds from you can open up the door for someone else to feel seen. Hey, I appreciate you, and thanks for being here.